Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on my channel, another video that I am kind of testing the waters on to see if you guys are interested. I'm obviously interested, which is why I'm filming it, but I'm super excited to go over some of the June new book releases with you guys. I thought it would be fun if you're not someone who stays up to date with new releases to kind of give you my take on the new books that are coming out next month and to kind of see if there's anything that is coming out that I didn't know about that now I need to add to my radar. So head and pull up the good old Goodreads and we're going to start looking at some of the new books that are coming out in June. Green is a little bit bright. I might have to adjust the lighting in post. We'll see if I can do that, but Goodreads is very bright. So I won't be going over every single new book that comes out in June. I feel like that would be way too much because there's so many books from so many different genres that come out each month, but we're gonna kind of talk about the ones that I feel I'm the most excited about, starting with ones from authors that I've already read from before. So at first, I think this might be one of two that I am the most excited for coming out in June, and that is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's expected to come out on June 3rd, which is kind of exciting because that's my husband's birthday, and it's also kind of around a topic that he loves, which is space. Now, if you've never read a Taylor Jenkins Reid book, I'm just going to be one of the thousands of people to tell you that it almost feels like every time you read one of her books, all of her characters feel like real life people. They feel like people that you could just Google when you're done reading the book and they're just real life people. So I'm so excited about this one. It says it's an epic new novel that's set against the backdrop of the 1980s space shuttle program about the extraordinary lengths we go to live and love beyond our means. We are following Joan Goodwin. She's obsessed with space. She's obsessed with the stars, and it sounds like she comes across an advertisement seeking the first women scientists to join NASA's space shuttle program, and she does end up being selected by a pool of thousands of applicants in the summer of 1980. She begins training at the Space Center alongside a bunch of fellow candidates. It says it has a bunch of different characters it looks like that she trains against, and they all have their own secrets. As the new astronauts become unlikely friends and prepare for their first flights, Joan finds a passion and a love she never imagined. In this new light, Joan begins to question everything she thinks she knows about her place in the observable universe. Oh, and then it says, then in December of 1984 on mission STS-LR9, everything changes in an instant. I cannot wait for this. I'm 100% going to be grabbing this book. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. Anything about space I'm excited about, so I will definitely be grabbing this one. I guess coming up alongside that one, the Taylor Jenkins Reid being one that I'm most excited for in June, the second one that or I guess this is probably the first that I'm most excited for. I do have it already pre-ordered and I'm very excited. It is With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. Riley Sager is one of my all-time favorite authors. I will always pre-order anything he writes, and I am so excited for this. It is expected to come out on June 10th. This one seems a little bit different than what Riley Sager normally writes. He tends to write a lot of kind of could be a little paranormal, a little spooky, thriller, horrors, but this just sounds a little bit different than what he normally writes. It sounds more like a murder mystery. It says one train, no stops, a deadly game of survival and revenge. In 1942, 6 people destroyed Anna Matheson's family. 12 years later, she's ready for retribution. Under false pretenses, she's lured those responsible for her family's downfall onto a luxury train from Philadelphia to Chicago. Her goal is to confront the people who've wronged her, get them to confess their crimes, and deliver them into the hands of authorities. Justice will at last be served, but probably not, because Anna's plan is quickly derailed, I love how that is in there with the train, by the murder of one of the passengers. So as the train barrels through the night, it becomes clear that someone else on board is enacting their own form of revenge, and that they won't stop until everyone else is dead. So it definitely sounds like a murder mystery, and I'm so excited for this one. Again, it comes out on June 10th, and I already have it pre-ordered, and I'm stoked for it. Now, I will say, I'm not Frida McFadden's biggest fan. However, sometimes her books just hit. Sometimes when you're in a reading slump and you want to get out of it quickly by reading a quick popcorn thriller, a Frida McFadden will work. Now, Frida McFadden works overtime because I swear she's had 3 books already released this year, and on June 1st, there's going to be another one called Death Row. This one sounds a little bit interesting. It says Talia Kemper is on death row for murdering her husband. She had an alibi and no known motive, yet Talia's unwavering protestations of innocence have always been ignored. Then one day in the visiting area, she sees a recognizable stranger she's certain is her husband. It turns out the man she's been convicted of killing may not be dead after all. Will I read it? Honestly, I don't know. I'll see what the reviews come in as, because I haven't read the last like 4 of her releases, and to be fair, I've only read a few of her books, but this one sounds interesting. We'll see what the reviews come in. It's currently at a 3.83, but I don't think that's high enough quite yet. Next, expected to come out on June 17th, we have Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. I adore Ashley Poston. She writes the sweetest magical realism romances that I just, every single one I've read has been incredible. This one looks like and sounds like it's about music, a hit-making songwriter and a bitter musician. Ooh, grumpy sunshine. They're a startling and inexplicable connection that they'll do anything to shake in the next sparkling magical book from Ashley Poston. I'm so excited. Joni Lark is living the dream. She's one of the most coveted songwriters in LA, and she can't seem to write. When she returns to her hometown of Vienna Shores, North Carolina, she hopes that the sand, the surf, and the concerts at her family's music venue will spark her inspiration, but when she gets there, nothing is how she left it. Oh no, her best friend's avoiding her, her mother's memories are fading fast, and the music venue is closing. Everything is changing until she hears it, a melody in her head, lyricless and half-formed, with an alluring voice to go with it. Belonging to a musician with hang-ups of his own. Surely he's a figment of her overworked imagination. But then the very real man attached to the voice shows up. Oh, how exciting. Okay, well, I'm definitely gonna be picking that one up again June 17th. Adding that to my wish list. Next, expected to come out on June 10th is Slowburn Summer by Josie Silver. The name of that alone is everything. I love a slow burn in just about any genre. Talent agent hires an actress to play the part of a novelist on a book tour for his agency's publicity-shy client. She's playing the part of a romance author, but has she found her own real-life love story? This sounds so sweet. It says the genres are romance, summer, contemporary, chick lit, books about books. I really enjoyed Josie Silver's writing, and I just think this one's gonna be so cute. It just sounds kind of like fake dating, almost like she's pretending to be something else, but if it's slow burn, I'm in. Another one on June 10th I am so excited for, and I just love this cover, is Never Been Shipped by Alicia Thompson. I have only read one Alicia Thompson. I have Love in the Time of Serial Killers, which I adore, but I also own With Love, Cold War, and I don't know why I haven't read it yet because I always look at it. The cover is so cute. The synopsis is amazing, and I just keep passing over it, but this one is actually adorable, and another kind of like musical one. It says a band reunion may be enough to change two musicians' tune on love for this electric romance. So it kind of seems like it's another kind of musical one where their relationship with music is complicated. As teenagers, Micah's band took off after being featured on a popular TV show, but the group barely released their sophomore album before breaking up. Now, over a decade later, the band is reuniting for one more performance on a themed cruise. That makes sense with the Never Been Shipped. And Micah is determined to learn from her past mistakes. No losing herself in the music and no losing her heart along the way. Oh, and it sounds like it's bandmates, because it sounds like the guy that is the love interest was in the band with her. Oh, I can't wait for this one. I will definitely be adding this one to the want to read as well. Another one expected June 1st. This is by Craig DeLuey. I have read one Craig DeLuey and I really enjoyed it. This is called My Ex The Antichrist. Honestly, the name alone sounds incredible, and the tagline says love can be hell. Sounds great to me. When a rock musician learns her ex-boyfriend is the biblical Antichrist, she must find a way to stop him before he grows powerful enough to end the world. It says Daisy Jones and the Six meets The Omen in this novel about music, love, free will, and the apocalypse. You're kidding. That sounds incredible. The early reviews are not great. There's a few 1 stars, or there's only one 1 star. And then someone said rude of them to steal the title of my memoir. Okay, this is immediately getting added to the want to read. That sounds incredible, and the one Craig DeLuey that I did read, I did enjoy. So those are all of the ones from authors that I've read before. Now I'm just gonna kind of take a peek around some of the genres I really enjoy, and we'll kind of see what else is coming out that sounds interesting. This is by an author I've been interested in before. This is called The Listeners. It's expected to come out June 3rd. It's by Maggie Sweetwater. It says she dazzles in this mesmerizing portrait of an irresistible heroine and unlikely romance in a hotel and a world in peril. It says it's historical fiction and historical fantasy, which I do tend to really enjoy, so this sounds really interesting. It says January 1942, the Avalon Hotel and Spa has always offered elegant luxury in the wilds of West Virginia. Its mountain Sweetwater washing away all of high society's troubles. Local girl turned general manager June Porter Hudson has guided the Avalon skillfully through the first pangs of war. The Guilfoyles, the hotel's aristocratic owners, have trained her well. But when the family heir makes a secret deal with the State Department to fill the hotel with captured Axis diplomats, June must persuade her staff, many of whom have sons and husbands heading to the front lines, to offer luxury to Nazis with a smile. Ooh, okay. Meanwhile, FBI agent Tucker Minnick, who's ooh, this sounds dual POV. Meanwhile, FBI agent Tucker Minnick, whose coal tattoo hints at an Appalachian past, presses his ears to the hotel's walls listening for the diplomat's secrets. He has one of his own, which is how he knows that June's balancing act can have dangerous consequences. The sweet water beneath the hotel can threaten as well as heal. Oh, okay, so there's the fantasy element. June has never met a guest she couldn't delight, but the diplomats are different. Without firing a single shot, they have brought the war directly to her. As clashing loyalties crack the Avalon's polished veneer, June must calculate the true cost of luxury. That sounds so interesting, and I absolutely adore the cover, that like bright blue against the gray. I'm very interested. So this one sounds a little bit interesting to me as well. This is also expected June 3rd. It's called The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. Love this cover. It says ghostwriter Olivia Dermott has spent her entire professional life hiding the fact that she's the only child of legendary horror author Vincent Taylor, famous not only for his novels but for being the prime suspect in the brutal slaying of his siblings. On the brink of financial ruin, Olivia reluctantly agrees to ghostwrite her father's last book, not realizing she will be forced to reckon with the ghosts that live at the center of her family. I've never read anything from Julie Clark before. The early reviews honestly look really great for this. It has a 4.24 already, and honestly, sounds great to me. This one also sounds really great. This is expected June 17th. It's called Murder Takes a Vacation. Again, I love this cover. 8 days, 7 nights, 1 dead body. It sounds very White Lotus. Again, this is by Laura Lippman. It says, Laura Lippman returns with an irresistible mystery featuring Muriel Blossom, a former private investigator and middle-aged widow whose vacation on a Parisian river cruise turns into deadly international mystery that only she can solve. It honestly sounds a little bit like it could be a cozy mystery, a little bit Vera Wong-esque, but also White Lotus, which is kind of exciting. Yeah, it says cozy mystery, which makes a lot of sense. This one is so cute, and I love and adore a good cozy mystery. I like this one. We'll add it to our one to read. A book by V.E. Schwab, which sounds great. It's expected June 10th, is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I really like this cover as well. I don't know what it is with like the darker and then like the bright neon colors. Maybe I'm just very attuned to Riley Sager, but I love this cover so much. It says it's a new genre-defying novel about immortality and hunger. It's fantasy, vampires, horror, fiction, LGBT. Oh, I am so excited. It says it's a story about hunger, and it looks like there's 3 different timelines: 1532, 1827 London, and 2019 Boston. This is a story about life, how it ends, and how it starts. Okay, vampires, I mean, that's all you gotta say. I am in. This next one is expected to come out on June 10th, and the title alone is really just doing it for me. Not the title, but like the blurb. It says, Scream meets the guest list in this wickedly compelling and compulsively page-turning thriller of friendship and murder. This is The Bachelorette Party by Camilla Sten. I mean, a blend of Scream and then The Guest List by Lucy Foley, the 2 of my favorite things. It says, on a remote craggy island nestled off the coast of Sweden, 4 friends meet every year. They're best friends since childhood. The location of the island is a secret to everyone but them. One night of reckless fun and secret sharing, and then they return to their normal lives. 10 years later, ever since she was a teenager, Tessa Nilsson has been consumed by the story of the 4 friends who disappeared. So it sounds like Tessa is going to go figure out what happened to them. I think this is going to be one that's really going to appeal to a lot of people because I know a ton of people read The Measure. This is The Poppy Fields by Nikki Erlich, the same author, and this comes out June 17th. This is a stunning speculative story of healing, self-discovery, forgiveness, and found friendship. It says, what if there was a cure for the brokenhearted? Welcome to the Poppy Fields, where there's hope for even the most battered hearts to heal. Here in a remote stretch of the California desert lies an experimental and controversial treatment center that allows those suffering from the heartache of loss to sleep through their pain and keep on sleeping. Okay, this sounds a little Black Mirror. After patients awaken from this prolonged state of slumber, they will finally be healed, but only if they're willing to accept the potential shadowy side effects. Science fiction, fantasy, magical realism. That sounds quite interesting. I've had The Measure on my want to read list for quite a while, but I feel like The Poppy Fields also sounds really, really great. And Poppy Fields reminds me of like The Wizard of Oz. And a few more that sound really interesting. This next one comes out June 3rd. It's called Battle of the Bookstores by Allie Brady. The cover is so cute. The title is really cute as well. It says, rivalry and romance spark when 2 bookstore managers who are opposites in every way find themselves competing for the same promotion. I love a good enemies to lovers. I feel like this is going to be exactly that, enemies to lovers. And it has really good early ratings as well. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on this one, and I think you should too. The title of this one really took me out because whenever it says something like this, I get a little bit like, oh, this is going to be a horror. This is also expected June 3rd. It says it's going to be a thriller, and it's called We Don't Talk About Carol by Kristen L. Berry. A dedicated journalist unearths a generations-old family secret and a connection to a string of missing girls that hits way too close to home in this gripping debut novel. How exciting. In the wake of her grandmother's passing, Sydney Singleton finds a hidden photograph of a little girl who looks more like Sydney than her own sister or mother. She soon discovers the mystery girl in the photograph is her Aunt Carol, who was one of 6 local North Carolina black girls to go missing in the 1960s. For the last several decades, not a soul has talked about Carol or what really happened to her. With her grandmother gone and Sydney looking to start a family of her own, she's determined to unravel the truth behind her long-lost aunt and the sinister silence surrounding her. Unfortunately, this is a familiar territory for Sydney. Several years prior, working the crime beat as a journalist on the case of another missing girl, her obsession eventually led to a psychotic break, and now in the suffocating grip of fertility treatments, this sounds like a lot, in a marriage that's beginning to crumble, Sydney's relentless pursuit might just lead her down the same path of destruction. As she delves deeper into Carol's fate, her own troubled past resurfaces, clawing its way to the surface with a vengeance. With a vengeance. The web of secrets and lies entangling her family leaves Sydney questioning everything, her fixation on the missing girls, her future as a mom, and everyone she's come to trust. Honestly, sounds great to me, adding this to the want to read list. Expected June 10th by Peter Swanson, we have Kill Your Darlings. I love when that is said in anything related to horror. This is going to be a thriller though, a thriller mystery, but when they kill their darlings, it makes sense. It says this is an utterly propulsive murder mystery in reverse, tracing a marriage back in time to uncover the dark secret at its heart. Tom and Wendy Graves have been married for over 25 years. They live in a beautiful Victorian on the North Shore of Massachusetts. Their son is all grown up, all is well, except that Wendy wants to murder her husband. What happens next has everything to do with what happened before. The story of Wendy and Tom's marriage is told in reverse, moving backward through time to witness key moments from the couple's lives. Eventually, we learn the details of what Tom and Wendy did in their early 20s, a secret that has kept them bound together through the length of their marriage. I kind of like that, telling a story in reverse. That sounds really interesting, and it's something I will keep my eye on. I have a feeling this would definitely be like a book of the month option as well, so if you're interested, keep an eye on that. Now, this one looks adorable. It's a graphic novel, it's a young adult romance, and the premise of this is so cute. It's called We Could Be Magic by Marissa Meyer. It says it's a young adult graphic novel about a girl's summer job at a theme park. That sounds so cute. I love anything having to do with theme parks, but also I feel like I'm a little bit biased because I just love Fantasticland. It says when Tabitha Laurie was growing up, a visit to Summerland saved her belief in true love. Even as her parents' marriage was falling apart, now she's landed her dream job at their summer program where she can make magical memories for other kids, guests, and super fans just like her. All she had to do is audition for one of the coveted princess roles and soon her dream will come true. There's just one problem. The heroes and heroines at Summerland are all, well, thin, and no matter how much Tabby lives for the magic, she simply doesn't fit the park's idea of a princess. In a not-so-regal position at a nacho food stand instead, Tabby is going to need the support of new friends, a new crush, and a whole lot of magic if she's going to devise her own happily ever after without getting herself fired. Honestly, that sounds so cute. Like, so cute. Need to read. Ooh, a horror. I am so excited. So this is called Farmhouse by Chelsea Conrad. It's expected on June 17th. Every woman who has lived on this farm has died. Emily just moved in. Is it haunted? I hope so. When Emily's mother dies, it's time for her and her husband Josh to finally leave San Francisco. A farm in rural Nebraska is everything they want for a fresh start. They should have asked why the farm was for sale. 3 years ago, a teenage girl went missing from the farm. Soon afterward, the girl's mother mysteriously died. The deeper Emily digs, the more stories she uncovers of women connected to her new home who've met their dark ends. Oh, hold up. With each passing day, Emily's sanctuary slips further away. The barn seems to move throughout her property as though chasing her. Her mother's favorite music drifts across the cornfield. She swears she saw blood in one of the farmhand's trucks, and the screams that wake her are not fox howls, no matter how many times her husband says they are. It's on my radar. These last two look like they are a start of a fantasy series, which is very exciting. This one says it's romantasy and it has fae. Ugh, are you kidding me? It's Faded to Darkness #1. It is The King of Frost and Shadows by Jen L. Gray. A vengeful king, a lost princess, and the revenge he's desperate for. I love the cover of this as well. For the last 12 years, Tavish, the king of the unseelie fae, focused on finding the key for taking back his rightful lands from the seelie fae. What? Why is it? The king of the unseelie fae focused on finding the key for taking back his rightful lands from the seelie fae after they killed his parents. Girl, that's confusing. There was one problem that stood in his way, locating the princess hidden on Earth. After years of haunting her dreams, he finally locates her and drags her back to their realm. She's forgotten her fae life and wants to escape. He doesn't care. He merely needs her blood in order to free his people. This sounds familiar. But she's more than he remembers, and a spark ignites between them every time they touch. It's a steamy, love it. Enemies to lovers. Royal fae romantasy that includes betrayal, morally gray characters, enemies to lovers, villain gets the girl, a gauntlet tournament, and political intrigue, who did this to you, and touch her and unalive. One click this story today. Honestly, this sounds very familiar. I'll see what the early reviews say. Last but not least, we have a young adult fantasy that again sounds like it's the start of a series. It's the start of the Stormweaver series by Lauren Hamilton Murray. It's expected June 3rd. Is Heir of Storms. Again, these all sound familiar. Red Queen meets Shadow and Bone in this explosive start to a YA romantasy trilogy about dangerous magic, forbidden love, and a cutthroat competition for the throne. In an empire where crowns are not inherited, they're won. Again, sounds familiar, but it's all good. The very day Blaze came into the world, she almost drowned it. A rain singer born into one of the most powerful fire-wielding families in the empire. Blaze's birth summoned a devastating storm that left thousands dead. She's been hidden away ever since with a dark secret. This low-key sounds like Frozen. The same torrential power that branded her an outcast disappeared that fateful day, and she's not sure she wants it back. When an unexpected invitation arrives for Blaze and her twin brother Flint to compete as future rulers of the Empire, she's suddenly thrust into the limelight again and into battle. Threats abound at the Golden Palace, where intrigue and romance await with not one but two handsome suitors. As Blaze explores her untapped power, she discovers the throne may be within her grasp, but in order to take it, she'll have to leave behind the stories that others have told her about her and find the courage to write her own. Interesting. So those are some of the books that are coming out in June that I've got my eyes on. Let me know if there's anything that you heard today that you are interested in as well. Obviously, I talked about my personal favorites first, especially by authors that I have known and loved, but I'm so excited to kind of test out some of these other books as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.